Hello students. On our last lesson, we have learned the first part of Unit 4, that are the leaf and photosynthesis. Today, we are going to deal about the second part of Unit 4. These are transport and response in plant. We are going to deal in this lesson what are the main transport system in plants and how plant give response to external and internal stimuli. These are our today's lesson. So let's start transport. The main transport system in plants are osmosis, diffusion, and active transport. When you say osmosis, the movement of water from high water potential to the low water potential, from high water concentration to the low water concentration. So osmosis makes the plant rigid and firm by the movement of water. Whereas diffusion is the movement of substance from high concentration of substance to the low concentration. Whereas active transport is the movement of substance against concentration gradient from low concentration to high concentration. We have said osmosis is the movement of water. Plant take water through the root hair. Root hair increase surface area for osmosis to take place. These are the main transport system in plants: osmosis, diffusion, and active transport. Let's start the two main transport system in plants. Phloem is the first transport system in plants. We transport synthesized food from the leaf to all parts of the plant. Phloem is made up of living tissue. It transports organic material made by photosynthesis. Phloem use energy to move substance, so it is an active transport because it uses metabolic energy. Food substance move in both directions, in upward and downward, two-way. So phloem cells are thin-walled and contain liquid-rich foods. Phloem found in weedy plant next to the ring, in the rings. So phloem transport synthesized food. Phloem transport synthesized food from the leaf to all parts of the plants, from the leaf to the root, from the leaf to the flower, from all parts of the plant. So phloem transport synthesized food from the leaf to all other parts of the plant. The other transport system is xylem. Xylem transport water from the root to the leaf, upward, only one direction. Xylem transport water and dissolved mineral from the root to the leaf. So xylem are made up of dead cell. It's made up of dead cell. Xylem transport water and dissolved mineral. It is no active transport take place because it does not take metabolic energy. It did not use metabolic energy. Since xylem do not use metabolic energy, it is a passive transport. The movement of water in xylem due to transpiration pool. What is transpiration pool? We will see that. So water and mineral transport upward of the plant. So water and dissolved minerals transport only in one direction, from the root to the stem, to the leaf, only one direction. So plant have two transport systems that are xylem and phloem. We have said phloem transport synthesized food from the leaf to the root to the stem in two-way direction, whereas xylem transport water and dissolved mineral from the root to the leaf. These are the two transport system in plants. So the ringing experiment, it checks that whether xylem or phloem transport synthesized food, whether xylem or phloem tissue are involved in the transport of food material. These are done by the ringing experiment. As you see here in this experiment, removing the ring from the woody branch as a result of removing the phloem tissue, that means if we remove this plant in the ring form, we remove the phloem tissue. As a result of this, we have said phloem transport synthesize food, and the ring is removed here in the form of ring, so the phloem is removed here in the ring. So it prevents the transport of food to the root. As a result of that, there is accumulation of food on the upper side of the ring. So the swelling above the ring where phloem is removed will be caused by the accumulation of sugar. So therefore, this experiment proves that, the ringing experiment proves that phloem tissue are involved in the transport of food material. So the ringing experiment proves phloem tissue involved in the transport of food material. So let us start the need of transport. Plant for what purpose need transport? First, to transport synthesized food from the leaf to all part of the plants. Plant store synthesized glucose in the form of starch, which is osmotically inert. And plant store the deposit starch into root tuber, stem, fruit, and the leaf. For the other purpose, plant need transport is to transport water and dissolved mineral. To transport water and dissolved mineral from the root to the leaf and other part of the plant. Plant need minerals for making of protein, for making of other substance like DNA and other substance. It needs minerals for making of hormones, for making of enzymes. For what purpose plant need water? One, to maintain turgor pressure, and the other is the raw material for photosynthesis. Therefore, transport have two purposes. One, to transport synthesized food, other to transport water and dissolved mineral. And the other, moving water through xylem tissue. The other important question, how water move from the root 20 meters, 30 meters? Because of transpiration stream. Transpiration stream is a constant moving out of water from xylem, from the root to the leaf, whereas transpiration is a constant evaporation of water from the leaf. That's called transpiration. Water enters the root here through the plant by osmosis to the xylem tube. As you see here, plant taking water by using osmosis and transport through the xylem tube using transpiration stream, and constantly evaporate from the leaf through transpiration. So what are the factors which move water upward through the xylem tube? What factor make plant to transport water through the xylem tube? These are the main factors. The first one is root pressure. Is the pressure pushing water upward? What do we mean root pressure? As we know, plant taking water by osmosis, plant taking mineral by active transport, create a hydrostatic pressure. That pressure make plant transport water upward. The other force which make water to move upward is adhesive force. As the name indicates, adhesive force is the force of attraction between the water molecule in the xylem tube. The attraction between the force of water to the tube, that attraction is called adhesive force, the most important force which move water upward. The other is cohesive force. Cohesive force is the force of attraction between the water molecule. The force of attraction between the water molecule is called cohesive force. The other important factor which move water upward is a constant evaporation of water from the leaf. That is the most important factor to transport water upwards to the xylem tube. The last one is capillarity of water, which refer to the rise of water into the tube. These are the most important factor to transport water through the xylem tube. Root pressure, adhesive force, cohesive force, a constant evaporation of water, and capillary of water are the main factor which move water upward. So what are the factors affect the rate of transpiration? We have said transpiration is a constant evaporation of water from the leaf. What are these factors which affect the rate of transpiration? The first one is humidity, which means the rate of transpiration decrease in humid air. As increase in humidity, the rate of transpiration is decreased. The level of light intensity, the rate of transpiration is very high during the daytime. The other factor which affects transpiration is temperature. Transpiration factor on warm and sunny day than transpiration is faster on warm and sunny day than cold and dully day. So one of the main factors is temperature. The other is wind air movement or air movement. Transpiration faster windy day and than still day. To sum up, transpiration is very high on hot, dry and windy day than humid, cold and dully day. So these are the main factors which affect the rate of transpiration: humidity, light intensity, temperature and air movement. So the other part we are going to deal is response implant. We have learned transport, and now we are going to deal about the response implant. Just like human, just like other animals, plant give response to the stimuli, to internal and external stimuli. Let's start germination of seed. Before we are going to deal about the germination of seed, it's important to deal the part of seeds. What are the part of seeds? Seeds have these parts. The first one, endosperm. It's a food storage tissue. This endosperm is very important during the time of seed germination. The other is an embryo, which contain a pilumel, radicle, and cotyledon. Pilumel is an embryonic shoot which give rise to the shoot system, the stem and the leaf. And the other radicle, it's an embryonic root. It develops into the root system. And the cotyledon, an embryonic leaf which can become monocot or dicot. It can be one cotyledon or two cotyledon. The other part of the seed is testa, is protect the seed, and it have micropyle. As you see here, it's a very interesting picture. The part of the seed have different parts. There is endosperm inside the cotyledon. There is embryo, a pilumel, which give rise to the shoot system, and the radicle, which give rise to the root system. And there is a micropyle and the testa. These are the part of the seeds. The other, what factor needed for germination? For the seed to start germination, what are the factors? The first one is water. Water is important for hydrolysis of stored food. To break down stored food inside the seed, it needs water. So water is very important for seed germination. The other one is temperature for optimum enzyme activity. As you know, enzyme work at optimum temperature. So for optimum enzyme activity, temperature is very important. The other is oxygen for seed germination. Oxygen is very important for seed germination because to generate energy through aerobic respiration. Therefore, water, temperature, and oxygen are the important factor needed for germination. The other, we have already said, there is enzyme inside the seed to break down stored food. What are these enzymes? The first one is diastase. Convert starch into simple sugar. Lipase, hydrolyze fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Proteolytic, hydrolyze protein into amino acid. So these are the stage of development. There is zygote, develop into embryo, embryo develop into seedling. Seedling develop from embryo, and embryo develop from zygote. say zygote develop into embryo, and embryo develop into seedling, seedling develop from embryo, and embryo develop from zygote. So these are the most important enzymes, and these are the stage of development. So let's start the type of germination. There are two types of germination: epigeal germination and hypogeal germination. As the name indicates, epi means above. Epigeal germination means the cotyledon carried above the ground. The question is, what makes cotyledon above the ground? Because elongation of hypocotyl brings the cotyledon above the ground. Epigeal is mostly the characteristics of dicot plant, even though some few monocot shows, like onion and lilies shows epigeal germination. Epigeal is the characteristics of dicot plant. So we have said epigeal germination is the cotyledon carried above the ground. We have said the cotyledon is carried above the ground because of elongation of hypocotyl. This is an hypocotyl. Below the cotyledon is hypocotyl. Above the cotyledon, this one is epicotyl. Above the cotyledon, that is epicotyl, which gives rise to the shoot system, and the hypocotyl gives rise to the root system. So in epigeal germination, the cotyledon carried above the ground because of elongation of hypocotyl make the cotyledon above the ground. So this is epigeal germination. So the other one is hypogeal germination. Hypo means below. Hypogeal germination means the cotyledon remain below the ground. The question is, what makes cotyledon below the ground? That is an important question. Because in the case of hypogeal germination, elongation of epicotyl, as a result of elongation of epicotyl, makes the cotyledon below the ground. So hypogeal germination means a type of germination which makes cotyledon below the ground. So there are two types of germination: epigeal germination and hypogeal germination. We have said in hypogeal germination, the cotyledon carried above the ground. Epigeal germination is the cotyledon carried above the ground. Hypogeal germination is the cotyledon remain below the ground. So let's start plant hormone and growth. Just like human being, plant give response through hormones. It have a role in growth. It have a role in controlling growth. The main phytohormones or plant hormones are auxin, ethylene, gibberellin, abscisic acid, and cytokinin. Let's see each one in detail. The first one is auxin, or indole acetic acid, which secrete on the tip of the plant. So what is the role of auxin? It says, involving general plant growth, auxin synthesized on the tip of the plant. Stimulate elongation of new plant, apical dominance, growth in height, elongation. Slow down growth of the side shoot. Auxin slows forming of branch. It synthesizes on the tip of the plant. When it go down, it inhibits side growth. Auxin stimulates elongation of the new plant. Auxin stimulates growth of root on cuttings. When auxin applied on the cut stem, immediately the root grows, because auxin is very important in root formation on cuttings. The other role of auxin is a significant role in tropism. Tropism is the directional response of plant to the stimuli. So these are the role of auxin. Mainly, auxin have a role in apical dominance, but it inhibits side shoot growth. When the tip of the plant is cut, auxin is removed. Immediately the side shoot grows. The other important hormone is gibberellin. Is other important hormones. Gibberellin stimulates growth of plant stem and makes the dwarf plant grow into the normal size. So help the shoot to break the dormant period, start germination. When the condition favorable. What do you mean that? When the condition, when there is enough water, when there is enough optimum temperature, when there is enough oxygen, the seed to start germinate. During this time, gibberellin stimulate, break down the dormant period of the seed and start germination. How does it promote germination? By stimulating the production of enzyme found in the seed. So these are the role of gibberellin, the second important hormones. The third is cytokinins. Cytokinin is very important, stimulates cell division in plants. The balance between auxin and cytokinin is very important for plant growth. In tissue culture, which part of plant do we use for growth? Using the balance between auxin and cytokinin, very important in plant growth. It promotes lateral bud development. We have said auxin inhibit lateral bud growth, inhibit shoot growth, side shoot growth, but cytokinin promote lateral bud development. And cytokinin involved in leaf falling. These are the most important significant function role of cytokinin, the third important hormones. The other is abscisic acid and ethylene. What is the role of abscisic acid? Abscisic acid inhibits growth. When the condition is not favorable, when there is not enough water, when there is the temperature is not enough for enzyme activity, it inhibits seed dormancy. It involves promote seed dormancy. It makes the seed to stays on the dormant period by inhibiting their growth. It also have a role in, plays a major role in leaf fall, involving geotropism. Geotropism, we will see that. Response of plant to gravity. So the main role of abscisic acid is inhibit growth, promote seed dormancy until that unfavorable condition change become favorable. The other function or role of the other important hormone is ethylene. Ethylene is gas at room temperature. Promote fruit ripening. The main function of ethylene is promote fruit ripening. It causes the fruit and the leaf fall from the plant. When the fruit ripen, it become promote fruit falling from the leaf. So we have seen the important hormones. We have seen auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid, and ethylene. These are phytohormones. So let's start the tropic response or tropism. What do you mean tropic response or tropism? The directional growth movement of plant to the stimuli. It can be toward the stimuli or away from the stimuli, unilateral. Plant responds to unilateral stimuli, one direction stimuli. Let's start phototropism. Photo means light. Tropism is directional movement. So phototropism is the directional growth movement in response to light. So these are, the shoot are positive phototropism, which means the shoot grows toward the light, whereas the root grows away from the light. Phototropism, the directional growth movement of in response to light. Shoot is towards the stimuli, towards the light, and the root grow down, away from the light. The other important tropism is hydrotropism. Hydrotropism means growth response to water stimuli. As you know, plant grows towards the dump of water, towards the dump of soil. The root is positive hydrotropism. The root grows toward the water. The shoot grows away from the water. Away from the water, the shoot grows. The other one is geotropism. Growth response to gravity. The shoot is negative geotropism. This means the shoot grow away from gravity, the root grows toward gravity. Let's see this very interesting picture. As you see here, plant responds to unilateral stimuli, we have said. This one is phototropism. If the plant obtain light only one direction, the shoot grows toward the light. Look at this. The shoot grows toward the light. That is positive tropism. When the plant, the plant fell down, as a result, we have said, when it fell down, the shoot always grow away from gravity. The shoot grows away from the gravity. That means negative geotropism. The root grows toward gravity. That's positive geotropism. So we have seen tropism, the directional response of plant toward the stimuli and away from the stimuli. We have seen phototropism, hydrotropism, and geotropism. Very interesting. Investigating the response of seedling to gravity. How does the plant respond to gravity? The response of seedling to gravity can be investigated using a piece of apparatus known as clinostat. As you see here, the plant is fixed in the clinostat. Plant responds to unilateral stimuli, we already know. As a result of clinostat, cancels the effect of unilateral stimuli, gravity, by rotating the disk. When this disk rotates, it cancels unilateral stimuli. It cancels the gravity. As a result of that, the shoot and the root grows both horizontally. We already know the shoot grows away from the gravity and the root grows downward. The shoot grows upward as a result of gravity. But here, as a result of rotating disk, it cancels the gravity. Both the root and the shoot grows horizontally. So this is very important experiment to check the response of seedling to gravity. When the clinostat is removed, the shoot grow upward and the root grow downward. So this experiment checks seedling horizontally fixed to clinostat. Both the shoot and the root continue to grow straight. As a result of this, plant responds to gravity. And so the other one is a nastic response. We have learned tropic response, directional growth movement towards the stimuli. What about non-directional response? Plant also give response to non-directional stimuli. Plant give response to by the intensity of the stimuli. Look at that is photonastic. In this flower, the flower open during the daytime when it is high light intensity. The plant closed during the night time when the light intensity decreases. Not influenced by the position of the stimuli, not influenced by the direction of the stimuli. Rather, it influenced by the intensity of the stimuli. This flower open during the daytime when it is high light intensity. This flower closed during the night time when the light intensity decreases. So that is photonastic. So let's compare tropism with nastic response, or nastic response with tropic response. Nastic response is a non-directional response, whereas tropism is directional response. That means what? Toward the stimuli or away from the stimuli. Nastic response, independent of stimuli position. Wherever the position, it depends on the intensity of the stimuli, not by the position of the stimuli. Whereas tropic response depend on the direction of the stimuli. So the most important example is opening and closing of the stomata, like photonastic, thigmonastic, whereas tropism is phototropism and hydrotropism are examples. So we have seen tropic response and nastic response. Tropic response, non-directional response of plant, whereas nastic response is non-directional, whereas tropic response is directional. So investigating the role of hormone in plant growth. How do we investigate the role of hormone in plant growth? Using this experiment. Maize grain germinates produce a cleopetile. The germinating maize that's called cleopetile, widely used in the experiment to check the role of hormone in plant growth. We use cleopetile to check the role of hormone in plant growth. Let's start. When the tip of cleopetile is removed, decapitated. When the tip of cleopetile is removed, what happened? When the tip of cleopetile is removed means what? We already know on the tip of the plant is indole acetic acid. Auxin is found on the tip of the plant, which promote elongation, primary growth, elongation. When cutting of the tip or decapitated means what? Cutting, removing of the auxin. When the cleopetile did not grow, since the source of indole acetic acid is removed, auxin is removed. So failure of decapitated to grow suggests that auxin is probably produced on the tip of the plant. When we decapitate this, when we remove the tip of the plant, we remove the auxin. As a result of this plant did not grow. This suggests that auxin is found on the tip of the plant. The other important experiment is when the tip of the plant placed horizontally, what happened? When we place horizontally, what happened? Due to the force of gravity, auxin accumulates to the lower side of the plant. What happened? When we place this plant horizontally, as a result of force of gravity, it accumulates to the lower side. Auxin accumulates to the lower side. So what happened? Auxin promotes shoot growth on the lower side, as you see here. It promotes shoot growth, the lower side, it promotes shoot growth, and the shoot bend toward upward, away from the gravity, toward the light, or away from the gravity. Whereas auxin inhibits root growth on the lower side. The upper side grow faster and the root grow downward. So this one is a very important experiment. Plant response to gravity. The other one, when the shoot lit from one side, when the plant obtain light on one side, what happens? As a result of this auxin, the dark side grow faster than the illuminated side. The dark side grows faster as a result of auxin accumulate. Shade grows to the dark side, and the dark side grow faster and it bend toward the light. So let's sum up our today's lesson. Today we have learned two important things: transport and response in plants. I hope this is a very important question. Summary of the question. I hope you have to done this, and we will do on the next lesson. This is our today's lesson.